Hey everyone, Catch 'em All Collectibles here. In today's video, I'm going to show and discuss 10 Pokemon cards that I am not selling in June of 2023. These cards are certified holds. You saw the diamond hands in the thumbnail. I'm just gonna show you what and why. These 10 cards are guaranteed to not let me down holding them through the coming, not just days, weeks, months, years and decades. These cards I will never sell. So yeah, let's get right into it. We're gonna stay full office cam for this one. My childhood binder. You'll see a theme, a little bit clickbaity with the title there, as you'll come to find. But all the cards that I intend to PC, all the cards that I intend to never sell, I value more highly than the market. Fairly obvious, fairly common sense thing. If the market values something more than you, sell it into the market. If you value something more than the market, buy it or hold it, right? The Charizard I got for Christmas back 2001, 2000, whatever year it was, I don't remember, because I couldn't ever pull it myself. The Blastoise, the only one of the big three I was able to pull myself. The Venusaur that I remember trading for on the bus. I've shared some of these stories recently, but condition isn't anything crazy. Honestly, actually looking at them a little bit more closely for this video, the Charizard, I was a little surprised. Probably like an 8 condition. So I'm proud of myself having kept it better than I had realized, and also my mom, Santa Claus, for picking out a good condition one on eBay back in the day. But yeah, none of these cards will ever end up graded. There's no point in paying more money to store it in a way that would be less useful to me. This is the way that I stored them and looked at them when I was younger, and this is the way that is just the highest level of viewing pleasure for me. I remember, I think it was Clefable, I'd have to look back. I talked about how when I moved back to my parents' house from college in 2011, I refound my childhood binder, and I bought a couple cards that were missing from Jungle. I think they were both from Jungle, 2 or 3 cards that were missing from Jungle, and I didn't re-enter the hobby. So looking at these cards, thinking about, wow, if I had gotten a 3-year head start in 2011, if that had been my drive to get me back in and get me going, but alas, I just bought the couple that I needed and tucked them away. And then, yeah, base Jungle Fossil. Kind of like the standard binder. Millions of them around the country, around the world. Nothing too exciting, but very, very easy to be confident. And someone might ask me, well, what if someone offered you $10,000, $100,000? Some silly thing. Never going to happen. These cards are extremely common. Literally millions of copies of all these unlimited holos. And mine are mine, though. Mine are mine, and no one else cares about them, but I do, because they're my ones with those ties to the memories of the playground and the bus rides and the Christmas presents and birthday presents and all that. So yeah, my first 3 sets. One thing that I've been doing lately, and I still have to do more with the latest tag team up, all these different singles that are increasing. I do have right behind the computer screen. There's a cabinet. And within it, I have a binder for every era. I literally have, my goal was to continue maintaining from my childhood base Jungle Fossil all the way to current. Not master sets, I don't do reverse holos, but complete sets. I was flipping through there. I have like Gengar Mimikyus. I have Team Up Lilies. They're not complete. They're not complete from all the modern sets, but they were complete, and they got rated in 2020 for the WotC. They're getting rated now for what's going crazy right now. And I've gone back and I've rebuilt some of what I had rated in 2020 because the prices are back down on that. But how tedious it is to keep going through. This is the one binder I will never raid. I will never have to reassemble. And all the other ones, they're going to be remnants of the past at some point in the coming months and years, I guess, because I'm not going to reassemble them. It's just crazy to me how I mean, it's great. It's great. It's fueling my business. How many people value these things in such large ways, much larger than myself. But yeah, if the market value of this binder ever goes to like 10 grand, I guess it will be a good problem to have, because I will just have so much other inventory to get to sell first. Like this one, if and when this ever became a $10,000 binder, I would just be in such a good spot from having sold off all my other inventory. It wouldn't be relevant or necessary to sell it at that point anyways. But yeah, this one I will always own. If my kids ever want it someday, I guess it'll go to them. But yeah, other than that, 5, 10, 50 years from now, I do intend to always own Pokemon cards. And again, it's going to be heavily slanted towards those that have a specific meaning to me or are just super cheap. And I don't know if underappreciated is the right term by the market, but just more appreciated by me. I value them more than the market. And I know one's not Pokemon, it's Metazoo. Pig with Bacon Skis, he's an instant classic. So I think I have 5 or 6 of them. I think I have a couple listed on eBay for 40 bucks as 10s that aren't selling. I'm going to hang on to one forever. If and when that ever becomes a $1,000 card, but I don't ever intend or think that it will. But if it did, I'd sell off all my graded copies, and then I've probably got like 50 raw ones somewhere too, from how much product I opened. Top 3 in the world at the time that I graded it. I graded 2 of them. Hilarious meme card, to me at least. The meme card that I bought in a big collection at Heritage that I bought as a flip, but I had to PC the legend himself. I mean, Squirtle's not one of my like top 10, top 20 even Pokemon, but Squirtle Squad, his personality, like the personality of the several Squirtle in the Squirtle Squad, just hilarious, thinking back to the animes and all that. So those are a couple PC cards. They tend to make the rounds with me at Collecticons. I'm sure someday I'll forget them, but almost always I'll have them with me, my little mascots that will be by my side. Another thing that I like to keep cards that I personally open myself, and going back to the binders that I will be rating, and I have rated already. A lot of those I did open myself. For anyone who watched the video, if I remember, I'll link it above. Booster Box Time Machine was the thumbnail. I opened every box. And a lot of the cards in my binders that I rated in 2020, 21, up to current, a lot of those I pack pulled myself. But there's just too many. At some point for me, like, I am a bit of a hoarder. 100 sets, 100 plus sets is just too many. Three is a good number. I'm going to keep this binder back here. 3 is a good number. 100 with 4, 6, 8 more a year, however many it is, it's just too much. It's gotten to be too much at this point. It's money that's tied up that's not working for my business. This pack specifically, though, Bigfoot's my guy. I never understood the whole Mothman's the chase in Metazoo. He's not like a cryptid relevant to me, local to me, lore-wise. Bigfoot is universal. Bigfoot is worldwide, I think, or at least United States-wide. This was a pack, too, opened by Gary, King Pokemon, down in Orlando. Part of the Heritage $1 Million box break, wherein a Kickstarter first edition box was opened, which I bought 2 packs towards, and Reverse Hollow Bunnyman. I'll probably end up eventually selling off these excess ones. Same thing as Pokemon. I had intended to have a Kickstarter binder set. I do like binders. I do still enjoy all the arts, but I interact with so many on my day-to-day as a business. I never get to that. It's taking up space in my office. That entire display of binders that I never flip through. The only time I flip through them is when I know there's thousands of dollars in there that I can't bear having sitting in a binder. So yeah, like the Gengar Mimikyus, the Lilies, the whatever other cards are just insane. Probably all the ultra rares I'll just pull out next time I go in. And then the tedious nature of pulling out all the commons and uncommons and non-hollows, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But yeah, same exact weekend in Orlando. When I see these cards, it takes me back. Like Collecticon Orlando, I think that was my first Collecticon I went to, right? I can't even remember now. I say that these cards are about the memories, and then I struggle to remember the memories as far as like which was my first. Orlando last year, I don't think would have been. I think it would have had to have been. Because I will show the cards that I got out of the Las Vegas Pokemon Saves the World. I think that's what I'm mixing it up with. Because I had been to one box break prior. I think this was my first Collecticon, though. And I mean, I had met Gary prior, but seeing Gary again, I had my cards opened by the voice of a generation, Jason Page. I bought a $6,000 beta booster pack. Absolutely insane, not financially responsible, not a savvy business decision. But yeah, these are all my cards. I'll probably keep the Vesuvan Doppelganger above all else. At some point, I was hoping it would have graded higher. But yeah, Pack Fresh 8s. If I can recoup some of the money, nowhere near $6,000, selling all the non-hollow hits. But the Doppelganger, I remember early on in Rudy's channel, him having a playmat or him having the cards somewhere featured, maybe in the background, or a playmat that he had from time to time. I think it's one of his favorite arts. It is really just a cool art to me. It's beta. It's a historic card in just TCG history. Obviously not alpha, but still, it was me gambling towards getting a piece of power or something. And though my rare channel is fairly playable, from what I heard, I think there's some value here. The doppelganger just is a fairly iconic art, I think, as far as the uncommons go. And I do have, you'll see towards the back here, I did open a Magic 30, and every Magic 30 that I pulled that coincided with a beta card, I just put them side by side here. And you can see I didn't even sleeve the Magic 30 ones, but the beta ones are worthy of a sleeve. So yeah, just it's a little pile I keep in one of my storage areas, in one of my safe storage areas where all these reside. And I'm probably missing, I know I'm definitely missing something. I do keep some other things, some random errors that I pull. I showed a long time ago some errors that I pulled in different things. Oddities that I value more than the market, just because I have that tied to it myself. I didn't want to rehash. It's probably been a year and a half or 2 years since I made that video. That video probably got 200 views. But anyways, I'm just showing my like PC more cards today. It's not too many. It's sub 20 slabs, I believe. So this was the Pokemon Saves the World charity box break. I again, absolute madman, the gambler that I am, kind of spoiling the hits. But I will never forget almost having my packs opened by someone else. I spent $20,000 to go. I split with Nick 50-50. I won the packs on Heritage, I believe it. No, Golden. I think it was Golden. I won the packs on Golden myself, and I'm like, oh man, I won two sets of packs, Unlimited, Shadowless, and First Edition. And I'm like, Nick, do you want to gamble with me? We're going to Vegas. You know we're going to hit the tables. You know we're going to gamble. Why don't we gamble $10,000 each before we even get there? So this brings me back to the event. Hanging out with Nick, Zach again. I saw Gary there. He was on stage when I was opening these cards, and I didn't get to open my last. It was the Dogecoin Millionaire, the Dogecoin Millionaire, and I believe Pokeju, I think, were up there. Called improperly on stage for my pack when they were supposed to be opening someone else's pack. Thankfully, I cut in and I interjected, and the next pack, the Shadowless Charizard. Absolutely incredible. Super Duper Danny also opened a Shadowless Charizard that day. But I remember we were tracking because approximately 12 hollows per box. It's not a guarantee, but the Shadowless, and I think the First Edition more so than the Shadowless. I remember being in Discord, just periodically checking, and some people were watching the live stream from home, tracking it, and I want to say out of the last like 6 packs, and Nick and I were 2 of the last to go. Out of the last like 6 packs, there were going to be approximately 5 First Edition hollows, and to pull a First Edition hollow, absolutely insane. One thing that I kind of kick myself for, but I can't really be too upset about it, was I opened one heavy base. So this was an unweighed base first pack from a box. This had a 2/3 chance of being non-hollow, as did this. But to pull the Charizard was amazing. I do need to grade these. I'm probably not going to keep all the non-hollows myself. If I'd gotten a Charmander that I pulled myself, I would have kept it. If I'd gotten something else that I really liked, but those will all get graded and sold at some point. I'll just keep the Charizard. I did have a PC copy as part of my PSA 9 complete hollow set from WotC. I did have one of those that I sold to justify keeping this and to justify buying that $10,000 into the box break. I think at the time that I sold that to, that was $5,000 or $6,000, and now PSA 9 Shadowless Charizard is down to $3,000 or something. So I guess I made out better having sold it then. The 8 is also fallen, but obviously the 8's got less money into it. But yeah, to pull a First Edition hollow, I guess I mixed up my Shadowless and First Edition commons and uncommons. But yeah, they're the Shadowless, and I showed you earlier the First Edition. But to get the 8 on the Charizard and the 9 on the First Edition hollow, not too surprising. I mean, I think some people think pack fresh means it's going to be a 10. In WotC, that was not a thing. Certain modern sets are immaculate. Certain ones are like bulletproof, like Kevlar. They come out of the pack 90% 10 rates, 80% 10 rates, like Moonbreon. That was not always a thing. And look at Paldea. I opened that Alt Art Miriam, and it was probably a PSA 7 out of the pack. So from time to time it varies. Historically speaking, though, 8s or 9s have been pretty common. But yeah, I think I was starting to say it and then I just completely went somewhere else. I opened one prior base set first edition holo, and it was from a guaranteed holo heavy pack, and that was a Ninetales that graded an 8. So at the time, I think I spent a few $100. I need to look back at my purchase records to remember the time frame that I bought it, but I want to say it was, maybe it was towards $1,000. It was definitely less than $1,000. Maybe it was several $100s. I don't remember exactly. I want to say it was in the same time frame that I bought a complete shadowless box, open seal, but 35 packs. Someone opened one pack to verify the box. I want to say I bought that for like $2,500. So whatever a heavy base first pack was going for at that time. And I opened the Ninetales, and it was a lot of money at the time. It was kind of a bummer. I mean, I took my shot of the Charizard. I have a video of it somewhere, just me on my coffee table at home 5 years before a YouTube channel. I wasn't talking. I just wanted to record it in case I pulled it. I would have posted it to E4 or something. Maybe I would have started a YouTube channel then to post a private video had I pulled the Charizard then. But anyways, this one I'll keep forever. This one, it's less than $1,000 now. Some of the cards that I sell for that price, it's just mind blowing. It's like, I guess if times were to get tough and if I needed the money somehow, this would be the last $800 card, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is today, but this would be the last one that I'd sell. There's a lot of other stuff. There's 7 figures worth of inventory I need to clear out before I get to this one if times get that tough. So yeah, a first base card that I pulled myself, pretty cool. Tying to the event, remember going to the tables with Oak Cali, with Gem It Pokemon, with Old School Pokemon. Great night. This is one that I think this is the only card that I bought out of all the ones I'll show you. And so this one would probably be the lowest hanging fruit. I would probably sell that one before the other. I have no idea what was going for these days. This was a collector boy, Dan. Before I was a MetaZoo partner, I was getting in a little bit too much as a collector boy, just tying up money, kind of more speculating, investing, gambling, not really investing, but gambling, more just gambling in, hey, this stuff is cool. I want to buy some of it early. I want to say I paid a little over $1,000 for this. I saw before I started this video, a PSA 9 that was signed by Poncho. I'm assuming Poncho's the illustrator of this specific one. He's actually not. So someone had Poncho sign it, even though Poncho's not the artist. But it sold for a little over $2,000. Best offer accepted per 130 points. So I have no idea what this would get. Again, Bigfoot's just kind of like, I'm kind of like Bigfoot. I'm 6'4". I'm a big dude in the woods. So yeah, I don't know. I just really like the Bigfoot MetaZoo cards. Bit of a meme. But yeah. One of my few PC cards. And then I've got some other ones. Some of them are pretty mind-blowing. And I couldn't find my whole... I have a small box somewhere that I could not find. Believe it or not, this was a gift through the E4 Secret Santa. I'm going to quickly pause so I can find who to mention for this. So I just had a look and confirm the pricing and all that. So... shout out Joe the Man on E4 if you're listening, if you're watching this. Pokemon price only goes back to July of 2017 on this card, but it was worth $38. It sold for $38 in July of 2017. I received this as a gift in December of 2016. So this was a very reasonable, it was only part of the Secret Santa gift. Just crazy. Anytime I get a gift through like the Secret Santas, I've been doing the E4 Secret Santa since I want to say, this wasn't my first one. I want to say I did it since 2014 or so. Maybe 2015 was my first year, because I think 2014 I joined the forum. But anyways, anytime I've gotten a gift through those, I've put them in a certain box. Boxes have gotten spread out, buried. There are definitely some other gifts that I have misplaced, and I'm not 100% sure where they are. I know I still have them somewhere, but this was one that stood out. So I guess it stayed tighter to some other cards, and I was able to find it quicker. Plus, just having it in my mind that it was somewhere, knowing that the card has done crazy things lately, I made it more of a priority to find this one, I guess. But it's just crazy to see how far we've come. I mean, I was a big fan of Mario growing up. Makes me think back to part of the reason, like, even if I hadn't gotten this card as a gift, I might keep one of these just to remind me that how bad I missed this one, how bad I whiffed on it. I was big time. This is Collector Boy Dan video. I was big time Collector Boy in 2016 when these were coming out, and I shunned the $25, $30, whatever they were, Mario boxes from Pokemon Center or from eBay. You could buy these things in, you could probably have logged on to eBay on any given day throughout 2016, 2017, and walked away with 100 of these raw mint plus, as people know, Japanese promos tend to come. $20 a pop, $25 a pop, let alone like the full arts and all those. Very, very cheap for a decent while, and so obvious in hindsight. Everything's obvious, but yeah, this is a double. Keep it so that I get my head out of my butt next time something this big drops, and I'm there to just buy hundreds or thousands of them. And also as just a gift, tying me back to the old E4 days. And I've said it many, many times. I will get back there semi-regularly at some point. Probably not as regularly as I was when I was on someone else's time, when the clock was running and my paycheck was still coming regardless. But I could sneak a little time here and there. But yeah, now that I'm cutting my own paycheck, it's a little bit tougher to venture on there. But it will come back someday. This is one that wasn't technically a gift, but I guess it was a trade. Shout out to Kakuna Matata on Instagram. He asked if I wanted to be part of a trade up challenge. I think he was going from trade up challenges in context of the whole Collecticon thing that we've gone through recently. Not in that vein. I mean, I forget what we traded even exactly. It would be somewhere on my Instagram, but I think in hindsight, if you were to look at it, I would have heavily won. And I think I took it was like boom period. So it was boom period. I took what felt like overvalued WotC stuff and I traded it into what felt like relatively to the WotC undervalued Pokemon stuff. And sorry, modern stuff. WotC's Pokemon, obviously, but modern Japanese. Something that I had been getting into more in 2020. WotC went nuts. I was selling WotC. I was buying Masaki promos and Burn Towers and things of that nature. So it was a fun trade. Thankfully, the next trade came quite quickly, and I don't think I burned the other side of the deal too much. But yeah, I would say long term, like those two things, just pitting one against the other. This one is a 4-figure card these days. I just checked on eBay before we started, as is the Mario Pikachu. So if and when that scenario, I have to just start selling everything. This one would go sooner than the ones that were gifts or anything. Obviously, if it ever comes to me paying bills or being able to feed and take care of my family, this stuff is all for sale if and when it needs to be. Just there's so many cards I would sell before. These are the 20 cards I would sell last if I ever had to, I guess is what I'm saying. So yeah, there's the Team Skull Pikachu. Then you've got just nothing too fancy, nothing too special. It's just one of thousands PSA 9 Charizards. I have a Charizard I care more about. A Charizard I care more about is raw in this binder. This one is still really cool though. I'm actually recording this in about half an hour from the time that Dan is recording this in the past. I will be on live with PK. So you're watching this on Monday. I was live with PK last night. Go check it out if you haven't. If I remember, I'll link his video up there in one of those little tag things. But yeah, PK stream I wrote on the back so that I don't accidentally confuse it. It is the cleanest Charizard I've ever pulled. I've had the pleasure of opening well over 10 base set unlimited booster boxes myself. And I've also opened some for other people on like streams and all that. I haven't yet opened a Charizard for someone else though. I've only opened a handful of packs, not even a box's worth of packs on streams and stuff like that. But it's Charizard. It's my grade. Back when I was Collector Boy Dan, PSA 9 was my grade. It's where I found the most value. But yeah, that live stream, I'm not going to try to remember everyone that was on that stream. Bunch of great people though. Bunch of great people. I went full YouTube and shout out to Melfi Media. He had me, Melfi Collectibles on Instagram. He had me do the open mouth thumbnail face for the first time ever on YouTube, and we tried making a very high production value short. That I think I got 10,000 views on Instagram as a reel, but on YouTube it kind of flopped, maybe 1,000 views, a little over 1,000 views for a YouTube short. But anyways, yeah, cleanest one I've ever pulled. I've graded back in the day. Some people would say they were grading easier than as inconsistent as ever, in my opinion. But anyways, cleanest Charizard I've ever pulled for sure. Like if I submitted it 5 times, I feel like it would get a 10 eventually. If it had gotten a 10, I would not have it. I value it a little bit more than the market does as a 9, a decent bit more, I guess. But as a 10, I would not value this card $10,000. I guess maybe 1,500, a couple thousand, and the 9's only selling for 900 to 1,200 right now. So someday I might sell this, but as of right now, before I sold it, maybe I would try to go CGC 9.5, BGS 9.5. I don't know if there's much of a premium there. Honestly, I think it could CGC 10 or BGS 10. How this card didn't PSA 10, I don't know. It is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But at the end of the day, I'm keeping it for now. This was a pretty recent one. This one I pulled in Orlando 2023. Shout out Pokemon DNA. I think it was 5 Crown Zenith packs off me, and he immediately handed one right back to me. He's like, how much for 5 Crown Zenith packs? I forget what I charged him. I cut him a little bit of a deal, and then he handed one back to me for a pack battle. Everyone else got like nothing. They thought I handed them Wade packs and then handed me a juicer pack. But I pulled this at 10. I'm not like super attached to it, but I also think it's like a sub $100 PSA 10. Brings me back to Orlando. Yeah, just a little memento. I like more keeping cards that tie me back to something. This one, I want to say it should have been 2019 Worlds, but maybe it was 2018 Worlds. No, it would have been, yeah, because I didn't have a hotel. I didn't stay. I did it like an all-nighter. I think I've talked about that on YouTube before, but I did an all-nighter in Nashville in 2018, and I didn't have a room. But in 2019, I stayed 2 nights maybe. I think it was 2 nights, and I met. He calls himself. He goes by SM Black. Jean-Luc, and I met him for the first time at Worlds 2019, sitting around a table, bunch of people. He came to the table, very, very amazing guy, very, very knowledgeable in the hobby, and he just like handed a bunch of people cards, like really, really cheap ones. It's mind-blowing. It makes me think of like this one. Like at the time, this was probably a $20-$30 PSA 10. Not anything too crazy, but like still just a really cool card, really cool thing for him to just go around, introduce himself to a bunch of people and hand out a little gift. And it brings me back thinking about that. Recent sales of this card, absolutely crazy. It's like a low 4-figure card now. But I hang on to gifts. It brings me back to the person. It brings me back to the time and the place, if relevant. So yeah, that card is in the gifted box. And like I said, there are some cards, there are some like oddities too. I still have the Welch's jars, the Pikachu and the Charmander. I still have all the components of all the gifts. It's just some are more scattered than others. But yeah, that's that one, going back to 2019 Worlds. This one I'm keeping for the memes. I love Rudy's channel. I talked about it quite a bit, but yeah, Rudy pumped me and dumped me with the 6.9 year anniversary. It's a 1 of 1, signed by Rudy himself. 6.9 pump dump. What more could be said? I have no idea if this would sell. Like if I were to list it for $500 on eBay and it would sell, I should definitely sell it. I don't think it would though. That's part of the reason why I likely never will just list it or sell it, because I would feel bad if someone were to ever spend that much. I spent more than that on the kit. And then these ones are just funny. I used to play Fortnite a decent bit with John, Pokemon Radar, and Charlie. Sherlocker, Charlie Collects on Instagram. So this was my, kind of tying in with the meme, like that I'm a robot, non-human. This was just my favorite skin. I don't know why. I was not very good at the game, but he had a backpack bling. A back bling, I think they called it, a backpack that would show you how many kills you had in the match. Like it would count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. I ended most matches probably with 0 or 1 or something. But I just liked, I liked the aim, the robot skin. So back when I was opening Fortnite cards, it's a shame I didn't hold on to more of them, because these crystal shards especially, I at one point I'd had 50 or something crystal shards I opened from those retail fat packs. And yeah, I sold them all for break even, and then 2 years later they were like 20x'd. But anyways, these ones I don't think I'll keep all 4. Right now I have like only a 9 on that one, but I have like all the variants, I guess, and 2 of this one. But yeah, at some point I'll probably sell off all but one of them. I might just keep like the non-hollow 9, the absolute cheapest one. This thing's probably not worth $5. I think there might be a little bit of value in these. It is a legendary skin. Yeah, it's a legendary outfit. So there's a little bit of value, but nothing crazy. But yeah, that's everything I've got for right now. So I've said from time to time, I've made different jokes, and I've seen some people and heard some people reference them. I like to keep, just as part of keeping the business capitalized and cash flowing well, I like to keep kind of an arbitrary number, but like 1%. This is what I've said before, and I've heard it quoted back in different different parts of the internet, different discords and things like that, or live streams. 1%. So whatever your gross annual sales are, whatever my gross annual sales are, I want to allocate less than 1% of that to my PC. I think as of today, I am towing that line. I did do the video last year where I talked about how my annual sales were $1.2 million. 1% of that would be $12,000. I guess I didn't talk about it in this video, but I do have an Evolutions booster box right here. I consider that PC. That one's more just like a memory and a lesson on how crazy this market can be. That's what some of these cards are too. But yeah, I made so much money off Evolutions by the case, selling it at 150, 200, 400, 8, like all the way up. I sold too early in many respects, but that whole thing was just so crazy. Keeping one box as a memento, keeping one box as a memory, because I think looking at that and having that memory, having that memento is just valuable to know how crazy things can get. And I make this video in a time where what was happening in 2020 with WotC is now happening in a lot of ultra modern Japanese. So I almost forgot too, but I meant to grab this one. I guess I don't have to grab it. I guess I can. But I am wearing pants. I just didn't want to stand all the way up. Mega Charizard EX. I really liked the generation set, but this one I guess is a little more important. I had Rusty sign it. He graciously, when I was visiting last year, we did a 6-figure deal. So I guess he threw a lot of money my way. I threw a lot of money in cards his way, and then he added on a couple little things like that. So again, that falls into the gifted category. Plus, it's just a cool Charizard box. I was around. I did have wholesale distribution when this came out, so I did get like my allocation of these. I remember breaking these down, grading the promos. I remember buying some of the European ones that had the jumbo, because I don't think they do the figures over there. They just do the jumbos. I remember grading. I think I have like one PSA 6 Charizard jumbo somewhere that I need to list still. But yeah, that's I'm trying to look at my background if there's anything else I missed. There's absolutely going to be things that I missed, but things like this too. I really love these things. The crazy Quaxley stuff, the Quaxley hood thing, mask thing that I had in my short on Friday. I buy a bunch of silly stuff these days. I still really enjoy Pokemon. I'm an evil flipper business, all those kinds of things. I'm a money extractor from the hobby, but I still really do love it all. There's just very, very little at this point in my life. Maybe it's from having kids. Maybe it's from turning this into a business. I just can't justify having as much as I used to. I can't justify having too much, more than 1% of my gross as inventory, as PC. So I need to keep the money moving, and I need to move it into things that more align with my life goals. And yeah, that's everything. I did not think this was going to be a 33-minute video. You're welcome, and/or I apologize for wherever you sit on this. If you're watching this still disproportionately, I guess you're welcome, because somehow you needed this much damn content Monday. But yeah, I hope everyone has an amazing week, and I will catch you all later.